If you think the Bible's not really harmonising with all this, well, let's have a look at some scriptures. Genesis 1:14, and God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and for seasons and for days and for years." Bible says it. Psalms 19:4-6, their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. The tabernacle is this. This is the tabernacle of Moses. This is the temple of Solomon. Jesus said, "I will make you a pillar of the temple of my God," the 12 pillars. Because in my Father's mansion there are many houses. It's all here. And it says, which he has made, this is Psalm still, which he has made as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. Remember the bridegroom coming out of his chamber? 1 Corinthians 15:41, there is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from the other in glory. Here's Psalm 50 verse 1. His power is from the rising of the sun until the setting thereof. Who are we talking about? The sun. Because the sun's power is only good during the day. The Bible's telling us. Job 38:42, canst thou bring forth Mazzerroth in his season? What's Mazzerroth? It's in the Bible in Job 38:32. It's the zodiac. Can you, and Job is saying, God is saying to Job, can you tell the zodiac? Do you know, as Homer and Hesiod and Aratus and all the great poets said, when you see Taurus, you go out and get your bull and plough, and then you will be able to benefit. These are the two covenants. The covenants of works. This is the covenant of works because you have to work to gather. And this is the covenant of rest. Because you can't work here, you can't plough. If you go out and plant some seeds in the winter, you're going to die. Malachi 4:2, the Son of Righteousness with healing in its wings. Well, that's interesting. That's Malachi, the very, very, very last verses of the Old Testament. Because Malachi is saying the Son, Jesus, is coming. We're going to turn to the sun. We've been worshipping the moon and Saturn and Jupiter and all the planets. Now it's time for the sun, because we have to get mankind to go up into the heart chakra. Because that's where we're going. As a race, we're going to the heart chakra. We've been down here fighting in the bottom red chakras. We've been fighting. We've been concentrating on power. It's all over. That game's all over, man. We are going into the heart chakra. How do I know? Well, we've been in the age of Pisces for 2,000 years, ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's the boss. He took the throne from Saturn. He always stole from his father, but we are now going back to Saturn. We're going back to Aquarius. And when we go back to Aquarius, the opposite is Leo. In Leo, there's a star called Regulus, and it's the little atom that's in your heart. It's a centripetal atom that commands all the other atoms in your body, according to occult theology and alchemy. That is the atom in the heart. And that atom, when the age of Aquarius comes up in the east on the equinox here, opposite will be Leo. And Regulus is that star, the biggest star in the constellation. It corresponds to that heart chakra. And Regulus in Arabic is called the Messiah. The Messiah is coming back. It is. It's the stars. It's the new heavens and the new earth that are going to come with the age of Aquarius. It's not New Age stuff. It's timeless. Everything I'm telling you, there's nothing here that's New Age. None of it. Although it harmonises with it perfectly well. I don't get involved with it. Not much. I listen to a bit of Drumbelow Melchizedek and David Wilcock and guys like that, Stuart Swerdlow. Well, that's not... But anyway, you know what I'm saying. This is timeless information. It's not New Age at all. There it is there. The sun with healing in its wings. And whoopsie-daisy, there it is there. And guess what this is? This is the Jehovah's Witness Assembly Hall in New Jersey. They have that on the top of it. There's the sun, remember? Helios. Look at the Baptist church. Living hope. You think they know something? Who's the sun? Oh, the Son of God. S-U-N and S-O-N are interchangeable. They always have been. There he is, the yes. The yin and the yang. Look at this. This is old. This is probably about, I don't know, 20,000 years old. Because there's a lot of stuff in Egypt that is so old. And they bequeathed this marvellous science to us. All right? In the Bible, in the book of Timothy, the Apostle Paul says, in the last days shall come evil times, that they will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, and untrustworthy and unfaithful. Well, yeah, that's a cycle. When we go close to our star Sirius, we go to the golden age. When we are away from the sun, which we have been for the last 2,000 years, we're in the dark ages. We go from gold down to silver, down to bronze, down to dark. Yes, of course in the last days there's going to be this ignorance. But Hermes said it thousands of years before the Apostle Paul did. Let's have a read of Hermes. Just a little snippet out of this is the lament of Hermes, because he was in Egypt. Well, it was the spiritual wisdom that was in Egypt that cried out and said, there are days coming in which they will come to this land, to Egypt, and they will strip all of our beautiful images. Images. What's an image? This is why the religion of the who hate the idols, because idols are symbols, icons, images. They help you to imagine. Imagine. Image. Magic happens with images. They don't want you to have these images, and that's what he said. There were days, and it did happen. The Greeks went there and they took away knowledge and abused it. The Romans went there, and Julius Caesar brought the obelisk from Egypt to the centre. Well, he brought it to, they put it in the centre of the Vatican now, but that happened 2,000 years ago. Julius Caesar did that with his boats and all his machines. They took 13 obelisks from Egypt. Hermes predicted it. He said they will come here and then they will go and they will say that Egypt is the land of spiritual prostitution and images and graven images and everything like that. This is the first. This is why Giordano Bruno also died, because he said, unless we go back to the religion of Egypt, we're doomed. Because they had the science. They left it for us. How do we know they were smarter than we are? Well, they built the pyramids. We cannot do that today. We cannot build. We cannot reproduce that great pyramid. They did. They had science that was way, way, way above what we have now. We are foolish children compared to how wise they were, and they left this for us. This comes from Egypt, guys. They were very careful about the afterlife. They knew about the afterlife. They knew how to get there. You have to wake up. You have to grow your energy through the chakras and burst the pineal gland before you go back to any kind of spiritual source where you came from. We were created above this, above the seven, but we come from above the tyrannical but loving kingdom of the planets. This is the demiurge. It's not the prime creator. Ein Sof. The Jews call him Ein Sof. You can't name him. This is Jehovah. Jehovah is the Elohim. The Elohistic and the Jehoistic Jewish, there's two religions merged into one. One's Elohistic, the Elohim, and one's Jehoistic, which is Jupiter, based on Jupiter. These are the cosmocrators. These are the potters. These are the ones that make our forms. But once we go through the seven rings, as we descend from Saturn, and we've got to go back up through Saturn, the rings or the heaven of Saturn, in other words, burst the pineal gland, to get back to God. As we come down, Manly P. Hall teaches that Saturn gives us a vestment, Saturn gives us reason and rationality, Jupiter gives us judgment, Mars gives us willpower, the Sun gives us divine will, Venus gives us sensual attributes, Mercury gives us intellect, the Moon gives us imagination, and the Earth, the eighth, the ogdode, the octave, because every seven is rounded off to an octave. In music, what's an octave? 7 notes. It's not 8. Every seven is rounded off to an octave, And this is rounded off to 13 every 12. 8 and 5 are Fibonacci numbers. We'll go into that another time. But when we get out of there, when we climb back, as we descend down those rungs, we get 7 vices. Jealousy, greed. We get these earthly base low vibrating. The molecule is the lowest degree of life that exists. The photon and the plasma is the highest as you go up. And as we ascend, we turn those vices into virtues, and we conquer jealousy. We wake up. We activate the powers that were given us. We all have 7 powers, and we are here to activate them. And we have 12 labours to do. We have to activate those 7 powers, and we have to do our 12 labours, whatever they are. The sun, Hercules, has 12 labours. Samson had to kill the lion. Hercules has to kill the lion. The sun has to die. It has to go through that climbing and growing. It has to struggle here and get baptized and purified in February, which means purification. And then it conquers here. And then the sun grows in momentum and he gets enthroned. That's the enthronement of the sun. But then later, as he goes on, he gets betrayed. And the sun gives his life so that all may live. That's what it's talking about. Remember, the kingdom of cold, this is hot. That's the hottest part of the day, hottest part of the year, hottest part of the body. This is cold, the opposite. Everything is opposite here. Look at this. Venus and Mars. Venus and Mars. The moon and Saturn. That's not so much obvious with the moon and Saturn in Cancer and Capricorn, but it is with Mercury and Jupiter. There's patterns here, guys, and you'll see the patterns.